Okay, so we just got done selecting the jury. I have 10 minutes before I gotta go back in. So far, everything's good. We got through the jury, selected our jury. The judge is really nice. I mean, and I wish we had this judge for the motion to dismiss, because what they've done before we got to this process, we had a motion to dismiss with a retired judge. They literally brought a retired judge out of retirement, put her in my motion to dismiss, and she blocked a key component from this whole entire trial, which is the good faith argument. I got arrested for trespassing. Now, under the Supreme case law, on a specific property that I was arrested on, if you're in good faith believe that you have a right to be there, which I in good faith do believe I had a right to be there, because there is it looks like public property. There are no signs. There's a bench, there's a tree, there's an ashen tray right there. If you look at where I was arrested, it looks like public property. And when I was getting arrested, Sheriff Glenn Hill came up to me before he arrested me. He told me, go over there. And I asked him, or I'll arrest you. I asked him, what am I being arrested for? He tells me, go over there. And 4 times I asked him, what am I being arrested for? He wouldn't tell me. And then he puts me in handcuffs. Now, under the case law in the Supreme Court, in good faith, you cannot arrest me as law enforcement and charge me criminally with trespassing, because the case law in the Supreme Court protects me. I wasn't disorderly, I wasn't bothering anybody, and I believe that I had a right to be there because it is public property. Now, the deposition of the sheriff, he says this is public property. He says that I was not disorderly. The video that I have, I was not disorderly. I'm exercising my First Amendment, talking about the murders that go on inside this jail, talking about my brother and how they falsified his police report. I'm exercising a First Amendment. I'm exercising a constitutional protected activity. The sheriff comes out and puts me in handcuffs. Now, back to retired Judge Jeanette Irby. She blocked a giant piece out of this whole entire case before we got here today. So the jury is not going to hear any of this. I mean, all they hear is that I was trespassed. The sheriff told you to leave and you refused to leave. That's not what happened. There are no signs. I asked the sheriff. He wouldn't tell me why. You have to articulate why I'm being arrested. And I asked you 4 times, what am I being arrested for? You wouldn't tell me, and then you put me in handcuffs. I'm gonna end this video. I gotta go back in. Is this judge a good judge? I have a good feeling about this judge. I have a good feeling about the jury, the whole process. But before we got here, that's the problem. How is it fair that the jury is not gonna hear the whole entire case? They're blocking the jury by intercepting this process today with a retired judge, and her name is Jeanette Irby. Jeanette Irby, ma'am, you're going to be held accountable. And if I have to file a lawsuit, I'm going to take this to a higher court. I don't know what's going to happen today. The jury's not going to hear the whole entire case. I'm gonna file and appeal it to a higher court. But ma'am, Jeanette Irby, if you think this county is going to use you to intercept and have a trial that's not fair, ma'am, I'm going to move forward against you with a civil lawsuit, and I promise you this community is going to find out about what you do and what you're doing to the county. I got to go back in. Keep me in your prayers.